I mean, I think that our team, the 24 team, we came into the chase last year with so much hope, and then went through the chase and didn't have a good chase, but yet we ended the season strong at Homestead. And I think just the fact that Hendrick wasn't as strong in the chase last year as we've been in the past as a company, and that's motivation. And I think we also got a chance, because of our relationship with Stuart Haas, to see some things that they were doing, that worked so well for them in the chase. And that's what makes a good. I look at that as a business relationship, but when you're sharing engineering, that's one of the best ones you can have, when you have a group that is getting support from you, and yet you can get something back from them as well. And I feel like we took a little bit of that and a little bit of what we've been learning, and started the season off not great, but with some things to try, and we've just been building on it. And we got 4 incredible drivers and crew chiefs and teams right now that all are contributing in our meetings, and that can get you a long ways. If you're behind, it can get you back. If you're kind of even, it can get you ahead. And I feel like that's where we're at right now.
Go ahead, Jim.
If you were a chase driver not named Jeff Gordon, would you be really worried about Jeff Gordon getting into the chase at this point?
I think there's other guys they'd be more worried about. I mean, Jimmy Johnson's the guy you got to worry about, I think, right now, and Dale Jr. I mean, I think that Jr. has not maybe led as many laps or won as many races as Jimmy, but yet there's a reason why they're where they're at in the points. They've been consistently up front, every weekend, and they're rock solid. So you got to look at Hendrick as a whole. I think right now, I think any Hendrick team, but hard to kind of not be a little nervous about Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, and that 48 team right now, as dominant as they've been and as strong as they've been. You get them in the chase with that kind of performance, and I would think they'd be at the top of the list of anybody's worry list.
All right, go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Just to follow up on what you said about Stuart Haas and that relationship, has that changed any with the departure of Darian being replaced by Steve Addington, given Darian's long history at Hendrick?
We definitely had a very a good relationship with Darian when he went over there. It was kind of a mutually agreed upon situation that was a positive for everybody. We don't have them in our meetings on Tuesday as often as they used to be. So in some ways, yes, but it's still an open book. And when we need to reach out to them, they're great. And when they need to reach out to us, we're just as open. But they are not involved in our meetings as much as I'd actually like them to be, as much as they were last year. That's true.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Since you've been in the Cup Series, just how have you seen road racing evolve from the time you started till now?
Well, it's evolved from, one is the competition just getting better, smarter, and putting more emphasis on road courses. There was a time when a lot of guys would just, and guys that were championship caliber teams would sort of say, okay, we're going to survive the road course. And now we want to go to a road course, to try to win it. We don't want there to be any track on the circuit that we can't be a factor in or get a good finish in, and attack like we would an oval. And so that certainly changed the mindset. And the cars have changed, aerodynamics have changed, so the pace has picked up. When we went to this new car, it definitely took a little bit away from the performance, but then we brought the aerodynamics back into it to get it back. Just learning how to seal off the front splitter and do the things that we're doing on ovals and figure out how to do them on a road course as well. Bigger rear springs, bigger sway bars and all those types of things that maximize downforce. But we used to be able to offset the cars for a road course to get more right side weight for the right turns. And with this new car, we were not able to do that as much. And so, that's been something we've had to overcome, and it's been a change.
Okay, go ahead. Next
Seems
question.
like brake pads, brake packages have improved too so much that you don't have to worry about saving the brakes as much as you used to.
We'll take our next question from Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. What would be your most bizarre moment here that you can remember in all the years that you've been racing? Because, I mean, this place just lends itself to strange kind of things because it's different. And what would be that unique or kind of bizarre moment that you would remember here?
Well, the first one comes to mind is leading the race here and spinning out, going into turn one with like 3 or 4 laps to go. Stewart had just done the same thing in front of me. Wheel hopped going into turn one under braking, which was a big issue, that day. And a lot of people were struggling with it. So I watched Tony do it after I, was being conservative into turn one, and he did it. I went by him and got the lead, and I don't know how many laps there were to go, but not many. And he was a little bit better than we were that day. And, I did the same thing that he did, and probably even worse because I lost a lot more positions than he did. And, ended up having a car that was going to finish first or second and finished like 9th or 10th. That was pretty bizarre. The other one was when Biffle got into me going into turn one on lap one. We just got the green and went down in there, and he was a little more aggressive than I was and spun me out. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Edwards can correct us, is that when I also ran out of fuel and so then that same day, on the last lap coming to the checkered, I ran out of fuel and was not very smart because I should just been thinking about getting to the line instead of blocking the Kevin Harvick behind me, and gave him no choice but to spin me out. So I got spun out twice that day. One was not my fault. The second one was, and I don't think I made it across the line because the car had no fuel in it. So that was a pretty bizarre day.